everybody. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Bree.
And I'm Evan.
And this is Reality Check TV. Here's where we discuss some of our favorite reality shows to watch together as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So if you love reality TV like we do, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you can get notified anytime we post a new review.
Y'all just want to be the one to miss out, don't y'all?
You're right. So we are back. Welcome back. Welcome back to myself. Real quick, if you saw our last review, y'all know I was showing out at the Beyonce concert, lost my voice, and I thought it would just be because of the concert and me screaming and yelling. Well, I kind of ended up sick. So my voice was really gone, and now we are here, and it's back. It's giving vocals. We're back. So I hope you guys didn't leave us. I hope you guys still believe in us. And we're here to give you a long overdue review of the last 2 episodes of Ready to Love.
Yep.
It comes back on tomorrow. Today is Thursday. You guys are going to get this Thursday night. So a new episode does come on tomorrow, so I'm sure we'll get back onto a schedule.
Yep.
Next week. So I hope you guys are preparing for the holiday weekend, because we preparing for the holiday weekend. We gonna have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I promise not to get sick again. we gonna make sure I'm taking my vitamins. Anything for the people.
We missed them. Let's get into this.
Yes. It's my cue. So don't do it. Y'all already know. Let's get into it. Okay, so like we just mentioned, we missed 2 episodes, and I believe it's 7 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter because it'll be in the title. But we are really going to refer to these episodes as friends and exes, because that's what has happened in the last couple of weeks on Ready to Love. You guys know, if you are familiar with the show and you've been watching for the last few seasons, you know they always do the whole meet my ex, sit down with my ex, sit down with my family or friends. Sometimes they'll do both.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the theme for the last 2 weeks. So what we're going to do, instead of doing like episode 7 and episode 8, we just gonna kind of go back and forth with our review, because there's some things that happened in the exes episode that we do want to quickly mention, but we don't need to go through everything. And same thing with the friend episode from last week. We don't have to go through every little detail.
All right.
But we gonna start with Janelle. Because in the exes episode, Morier, we know his top connection is Jessica. Well, out of nowhere, Janelle shows up. And I'm like...
Yeah, she was just invited.
Right, because I had no idea that Morier had a connection with Janelle.
I just thought it was Sierra and Jessica.
Right. Sierra was in, but Jessica definitely, but Sierra was here. But Janelle threw me off. It seemed like they were like friends, but I didn't know that there was like an actual connection. But anyways... The 2 ladies meet his ex. So his ex, I believe, is in her 40s, because she mentioned it. And that's important because she's older than Morier. And she talked about how, that was one thing that was like, she was a little skeptical about dating somebody that was younger than her. But the relationship was great. It just so happened that it just didn't work out.
Right.
And Morier did say that he dropped the ball, and he said that later in the date with Sierra, because he starts off with Jessica and Janelle, and then they do a separate date with Sierra. So it seems like the 2 are still friends, Morier and his ex, and they still have a good relationship. But it just didn't work out there. But the reason why we're bringing this up is because Jessica and Janelle, especially Janelle, really pissed me off. So the conversation starts with, I think one of them asked the ex-girlfriend, what is important to Morier in the relationship? Maybe not. Maybe it wasn't framed in that way. But somehow it was brought up about Morier and his importance when it comes to just sexual chemistry, right? Mm-hmm. And so the ex asked, like, well, like, is there the sexual chemistry? Do you guys think that there's the sexual chemistry is there? Or like, how do you ladies express yourself sexually, right? Now, granted, this is an ex. I don't think any of us are fans of X Week. Like, if I'm on the show, first of all, I'm not in contact with any of my exes. Like, they need to stay where they're at. And I also, y'all can judge me for it, but I don't believe in being friends with your ex. That's just me. I just don't understand the reason. Unless you guys have kids, I don't understand the reasoning of still being friends with your ex. Like, I don't get it. Not that you have to have bad blood. I'm just saying, why do we have to be friends?
Right.
Like, I don't understand that. But whatever, to each his own. They're friends. And it does seem like it is respectful. But the two ladies, Janelle and Jessica, was like completely like floored by her even asking about sex. She was like, Jessica was like, I don't want to talk. I don't feel comfortable talking about that with you. I don't feel comfortable. And I was just kind of like, well, we're adults. Like, let's address the elephant in the room. Clearly, she's had sex with this man. I mean, to be quite honest, I don't need you to tell me how he was like, smacking it, flipping it, and rubbing it down. I don't need to know all of that. But I still have a couple of questions though. Like, no, like that's not an opportunity that you have every day to meet the person that you're pursuing, to meet their ex. So I just feel like I would, if I was in the situation, and I'm going with the flow, I am going to take advantage of it. Like, I'm going to ask the questions too. And sex would probably be one of the questions, like, just more specific.
I've never been in this situation.
Evan, you have to play along.
I know we got to play along.
He never plays along with these shows. You have to play along. Play along.
This is like fucking Willy Wonka. Let me play along then.
What do you mean?
Because it's make-believe. Like, this would never happen, but I'll play along.
Okay, so again, do you think the line of questioning was, disrespectful?
No, but it just seems like that wasn't in their comfort zone to talk about sex with her.
Yeah.
Because despite they're trying to form a relationship with Morier, they're just meeting her. So it's like, some people are weary about talking about certain subjects when I just met you.
That's fair. But my thing is that you're already in a very unorthodox situation. This isn't a traditional situation. You're on a reality show to meet your potential mate, and the whole concept of the show is you dating multiple people at the same time at an accelerated pace, right? So everything is fast. And so I get it. In the traditional world, first of all, again, we're not in this situation. I wouldn't be meeting your ex. Like, no, we're not doing that. But to play along with what's happening, this is out of the ordinary. And so I feel like, yes, it's like your first time meeting this person, but this is the process. And so I just feel like, you want to get as much as your questions answered as possible.
Right.
And so taking the opportunity to do that, I just feel like you need to, take them up on the opportunity.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Like, I wasn't bothered by it. They were bothered by it. They were like clutching their pearls. But this is the real gag. Morier's ex is into, what do you call it? What's the term for it?
She's into the whole spiritual cards, the stones, the crystals.
But it's damn it, I can't think of the
median. I don't know.
Median.
I don't know.
No. I forgot the term for it, but basically, like, it is. She's clearly not connected to a organized religion. But at the same, and that's me making an assumption, right? Because there are actual religions that do practice with the crystals and the tarot cards and all of that stuff. And that's really deep into more of the spirituality of things and their own personal connection with the higher power, whatever they believe the higher power is. And I have so much respect for it, right? Like, I am into crystals. I'm into, and I don't want to say incense like freaking Jessica said. To me, that was very, like, ignorant. That didn't even make any sense to me. But crystals and just, spiritual alignment, like all of those things, I'm very intrigued by it, and it's something that is new to me. And so I am trying to learn as much as possible, but I'm also a very inquisitive person. And I consider myself to be a historian. And so learning about new religions and learning about different ways of practicing your said religion is something that I'm intrigued about. Mm-hmm. Well, Jessica and Janelle were so offended by this woman bringing out tarot cards. And Janelle took it to the 10th power. She's like holding her chest like, you're not going to be able to pull my card. I don't deal with pagan things. And like, it's one thing to not be into something, right? Yeah. Or to have a difference of opinion. That's fine. But it's another thing to be disrespectful. Mm-hmm. And to me, their disgust and them being so, insulted by this practice was very insulting to me, because I feel like that is just, it's ignorant, because clearly you don't know much about what you're saying, because Jessica makes the very ignorant comment about how, like, I don't do incense burning and all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, then how does your house smell? Because I just don't understand. That didn't even make any sense to me. Like, she's not into incense and candles and crystals and all of the other stuff. I didn't understand that. And then also, Morier has been talking about God and Jesus, like, in his regular conversation. So clearly he's a believer. He just practices different. Yeah. And he's not, connected to an organized religion. Right. And he said that. And I wonder if he's like more into like African practices, which I am more intrigued about.
He's just not the most traditional person.
Right. And so it was just really weird. It was very ignorant. I didn't understand why they were so insulted by it, but I also know that a lot of you people out there are very touchy, especially Christians, about how we practice. Not even just so much of what you believe in, but how we practice. And it's so judgmental. And a lot of times Christians, we can be very judgmental, and that's part of why I feel like we have a shift in our society now of people really trying to explore other ways to practice and not going to, like traditional church or being, considering themselves to be connected to one organized religion. And people are trying to figure out other ways because it's so judgmental.
And, people are tired of being ridiculed.
Yeah.
It's like, let me live my life. You have what you believe in, I have what I believe in. Why can't it be that? Why do we have to, like I said, make comments, you say judge, ridicule people, why does that have to be that? Why can't it just stay in your lane, do what you do, I do what I do?
Yeah. And or more so also, it's like not even just staying in your lane, but just asking questions and educating yourself. Well, you don't have to believe in it, but educating yourself on it.
Well, a lot of people don't take the time to do that stuff. They just go by what comes to their ears.
We know people
don't just jump on the bandwagon with what somebody says.
Because I'm also like, there's a lot of people within the Christian religion that also practice with crystals and not tarot cards, but crystals and incense and all of that stuff. Like, that's also a way that a lot of people practice. Yeah. And it's also a part of the Christianity belief. I mean, it's all up and through the Bible about rocks, and they would just call it stones, like stones and all of that stuff. So I don't know. It was really weird, very judgy. I'm like, go away. The only thing that I do agree with Jessica on is Jessica and Morier have had the strongest connection to me from like kind of like the beginning of this process. Mm-hmm. And it's obvious that they communicate off of the show. They're talking clearly. So for religion not to come up this whole time up until this point, that annoyed me, because I always get annoyed by the lack of conversation that people have when dating.
Because it's like, what were you really talking about?
What were you talking about? I think that this is a topic that is very appropriate to have on the first date.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, that's my opinion.
No, it is.
I think you need to talk about religion. For me, there's heavy hitters. Religion, race, politics, and economics. Like, these are some, like, heavy hitters that you need to talk about early on.
Yeah.
And so I didn't like that part of it. It's like, what are y'all talking about?
What's your favorite Nickelodeon show? Oh. So, our next little issue I had the bigger issue.
He did. He was very upset.
It was a scene with Q and his girlfriend. And it was, what were the ladies again?
That went to see... That met Q's ex?
Yeah.
It was Lee and Janelle.
Lee and Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I thought maybe Lee and Quentin may have had a little thing in common, which, the whole fitness thing. I don't know how... I feel like Q has Janelle up there.
Yeah.
As his top and followed by Lee.
Yeah.
But, Janelle in her confessional was talking about the miscommunication her and Quentin have been having recently.
You mean Lee?
Lee, I'm sorry. Lee was talking about the miscommunication and lack of communication she's been having with Quentin lately. And Quentin, in front of everybody, this is strike one, decides to let everybody know how he ghosted Lee. And honestly, how he said it, he made it sound like, honestly, she shouldn't feel no type of way. Like, I'm King Quentin. Like, what? Like, y'all should be pursuing me. Like, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know how this goes. But pretty much, Lee did not like that, which I definitely understand.
Yeah. I understood where she was coming from.
He really embarrassed her.
Yeah.
Because this is a show where it's like, we're supposed to be getting to know one another.
Mm-hmm.
We're really supposed to be putting our best foot forward, really putting our effort in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, it looks like a joke of all the things you said to me when you can ghost me and not feel no type of way and kind of make it look like a joke in front of everybody.
I don't know if it was... I didn't receive it like he was taking it as a joke.
Mm-hmm.
She was offended because she's like, here I am on this double date or triple date with your ex and the woman that I'm competing with to get your attention and affection, Janelle. And you're telling Janelle, who is my competition, that you're ghosting me, which ultimately means you're letting Janelle know that she's your top.
Uh-huh.
That was the problem. And I feel like that's where Lee was coming from. And I don't disagree with her. Like, I would feel some type of way too. Like, yeah, like, why would you say that in front of her?
Right.
Yeah.
And, my thing too is, not once did he apologize. My thing is, you bring it up in front of everybody. And the worst part, you don't even apologize in front of everybody. And, the fact too, where he made a comment talking, I don't know if it was the ex or him made a comment talking about she seemed like she was like zoned out. Like she wasn't a part of the conversation.
Both of them. The ex and Q said
like
that.
She was isolating herself, kind of not having much to say.
She shut down.
Yeah, she shut down. And she should have. I mean, because it's like, we don't know how much they talk off camera, but it's like, you just wake up one day and this is you. Like, you're showing your ass.
Yeah.
And Q was pretty much saying how he did not appreciate her shutting down, and that's not the type of things he looks for, as if he's not the reason for it.
Yeah.
And so, it definitely rubbed me the wrong way, because it's like, first of all, ghosting is that's like so disrespectful. No, I'm just saying, because you really don't respect people's time. You really don't. And it's one of those things where you ghost me, not even off camera, you don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You don't apologize off camera.
Yeah.
You bring it up on camera and don't apologize. You're saying it in front of the woman that I'm supposed to be, and I hate saying the word for it, competing with you.
Yeah.
You're saying it in front of your ex too. And you're just making me look like Boo Boo the Fool.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of, for me, it was just kind of like, I don't want to watch that crap right now.
Right.
Like, it was embarrassing.
Right. So one other meetup that we have to discuss, and that is Chris, Aries, and Jessica. So Chris brings his ex to meet Aries and Jessica. Aries shows up first, and Aries is very, like, you know, she comes in, she's smiling, soft-spoken, whatever. She meets the ex, who also seems kind of the same way. Jessica gets there, and Jessica's being herself, right? She comes in, she's like, oh, hey, everybody. Like, you know, whatever. And instantly, Chris makes it seem the way Jessica came in, like she came in rowdy, like, what's up, my niggas? Like she was like, hey, like why did he make it seem like she was like just ghetto, like she just out here? That annoyed me because I was like, what is happening? So the date was wrong road from the very beginning. The ex is asking all the questions, and I think it was Jessica that asked, like, you know, what is it like to be with Chris and all of this other stuff. And the ex the entire time was letting them know the type of woman that Chris needs, right? What type of woman he needs. Not one time did she really talk about what she needed in the relationship or didn't get in the relationship. So that was strike number one to me, and I noticed that. But then when it got to, you know, what was her experience like being with Chris, she flat out says that to be with Chris, you are completely in servitude. When she said that shit, servitude, like serve your man.
Yeah, you know, you gotta serve.
Like
you gotta serve the
man.
food, serve the buns, all that.
Like serve your man. Shout out to Claire Huxtable. That's what you mean. Serve you. Yeah, no, that's not, like, wrong word. Wrong, like red, bright fuchsia red is what it's giving to me. It's like fire. Like, no, get out. That's what it felt like to me. Servitude, you felt like you were in servitude being in a relationship with him? Absolutely not. And so for the next week, when the guys meet the ladies' friends, for Jessica even to have Chris meet her friends was off to me. Because I was like, it was in that moment with the ex that I felt like that should have been your ticket out. Because he had already been saying some things that made Jessica like side eye him, like the conversation about her also not reaching out and how he needs a soft woman and all this other bullshit that he was talking about the week prior. I just felt like this was the icing on the cake to me. That woman literally said being with him is you have to constantly be in servitude. What is that? What is that?
You gotta cater 24/7.
And so when the ladies leave, when the ladies leave, the ex and Chris have a conversation and she gives her opinion on like who she thinks he should be with or who would be right for him. And of course she said Aries. Like Aries is more on the side of, you know, softer. And let's this softer foolishness, right? It infuriates me, especially coming from men. This expectation that women are supposed to come soft and extra feminine and have this soft energy and just, you know, cater and like trust and just fully be in servant to the man. And what's the word that they love to use? What is the word? Not cater. But submissive. Be submissive to a man. And oh my God, I'm a damsel in distress. And oh, we have to be soft. Bullshit. Bull. Especially for you to have that expectations when you first meet a woman. My thing is, my guy, if that's everything that you want, like, you need to prove to me that you deserve that. Not every man deserves that type of energy. And just because a woman is independent and direct, knows exactly what she wants, a go-getter, just very extroverted with her energy and just, you know, all of that, just because she's that way does not mean that she is not soft and feminine and leans more into her feminine energy with being with her man or being in a relationship, you just got to prove that shit. You got to prove that you're worthy of that. You do. And men just automatically, they just want that type of energy to be given to them when they do nothing. We don't even know each other. At this point, we are dating. And so for you to automatically judge her on how she would react or how she would handle arguments and how she talks to you and all of this other stuff, just because she has a very extroverted type of personality and she is independent and she comes off strong, you think that means that what she's going to be the dominant one in the relationship. Like, I don't understand the judgment that comes with that. And yet you just automatically want that given to you. It bothers me. It bothers me to no end. Like, we're just into this new world of men feeling like they should just be given things, and it frustrates me. Like, it's so aggravating. You need to prove yourself. And then even at that point, like, who's to say that I need to, in order for me to lean into my feminine energy or to be soft, that means that I am not able to raise my voice or, using an inside voice or talking to you directly. Like, I just don't understand the correlation, and I don't like the judgment, and I don't like the expectation that I'm just supposed to automatically give that to you. And Aries is giving more of the pick me version of that, and like this whole soft spoken and talking to me nice foolishness. Like, you don't know how she is in a relationship, and the fact that she has 2 boys, I'm pretty sure her voice isn't at this level all the time. Yeah. I'm pretty sure she's not talking like this. Like, please get away from me, Chris. Chris is such a disappointment, because day one, he was in that green category. He was like, he presents himself to be really nice and whatever. And he has like completely died.
Well, you've always said, when we talked about those, what areas, what color people are in. Yeah. You always said for now. For now.
So, we put emphasis on that. Remember that. We said that. Now. We said that. So I'm not too disappointed in myself, because I learned my lesson, because they do this every season.
Well, Tommy's the only one in the green. And so, as you guys know, if you watched, Kira ended up going home, which we all saw coming, because Kira does not want to be around black folks. Kira said, "Y'all are not my Negroes." So she said
she don't want to be around Negroes.
Well, Kira says she's going to find her Brad, and she said her love is still out here. She's ready for love, So I guess it's time for her, time to go on a new show.
Maybe Love Island.
Something like that.
Or Love is Blind. Ooh, that's a good one for her. So a lot more clear people on that.
Well, she can definitely hear voices and tell who she's dealing with. So, we wish you luck on your Brad.
She's like, oh no, that's Jamal. I do not want Jamal.
Oh, this sounds like Dante.
Okay, so let's move into Friend Week. So it was Friend Week last week, and the women are in power. So the first date or meeting is with Kat, and Kat brings her friend Allie, and they do this whole Alley Cat thing, and that annoyed me. So I just wanted to point that out. I did not like that. And Phil was also not here for it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the episode again, because I can't. But Kat brings Phil and Herbert to meet her friends, and Phil answering the questions, showing personality. The friends seemed to like him and felt that he would be right for Kat. Now, Herbert, on the other hand, Herbert was showing his ass last week, and he was really showing his true colors. And it was a bit alarming, because up until last week, I didn't say that never said I liked people except for Morier, but I was kind of like indifferent with Herbert. It was clear that he had a lot of connections, right? Well, between the X week and this week, we recognize that Herbert pretty much has connections with everybody. He got a connection with Sierra, Lee, Janelle, Kat. Am I missing anybody? The week prior for X week, he had Kira meet the ex. And so it's like he had a lot of connections. And I don't know why I didn't pick this out earlier, but it is giving player vibes. Like, he's not here to take it serious.
That boy been busy.
Right. And so he's in this meeting with Kat and her friend Allie, and he's like not answering the questions. Instead, he flips it and he's now asking the friend questions, but it's still not anything with depth. Like, it's just,
I think he asked her simple, why is Kat single?
Yeah, and it just she'll answer it, and then like he wouldn't like give any feed, like it didn't start any conversation. No. Like, it was just like he was just there. And then he also just puts his foot in his mouth by saying like, yeah, Kat isn't my strongest connection. Like, she's up there, but she's not there. And so I was like, okay, dude, all right. So that ended badly. So then he goes to another date. His next date is with Janelle. Mm-hmm. Janelle has her friends meet Q and Herbert. And Herbert brings a gift this time, at least. But once again, he's not saying anything with substance.
So in this scene, I believe one of the biggest conversations was marriage.
Yeah.
And which Quentin added that, he's down, he's ready. Like, He feels like he's at the point in his life where this can be accelerated.
Right.
And let me add to context. Janelle claims she wants to be married or engaged by the end of the year? She
says she wants to be engaged before the end of the year. She said that in the ex episode. So when Herbert had Janelle meet his ex, it was brought up then as far as like her timeline. And she's like, I'm trying to be engaged by the end of the year.
And so, Quentin's answer met what Janelle was looking for, met what the friend was looking for.
Right.
Herbert was on that tour this time.
Right.
Herbert's answer pretty much was, I'm in no rush.
Right.
And that's not what Janelle was ready to hear.
Right.
And that's not what her friend was ready to hear. Because she pretty much told Janelle, that's not what that doesn't align with what you're trying to do.
Right. And again, this is an accelerated program.
Yeah.
Okay, like we in school. We moving fast.
And Herbert didn't really elaborate, but what's your time, Herbert? Because I believe Herbert's, how old is Herbert?
That's a good question, because I know Janelle is 42.
I believe he's 32.
Absolutely. Herbert?
31.
Boy, bye.
What?
He don't even look 30.
I believe Herbert's not that old.
He is not no late 30s. I mean, early 30s. He is not. I'm going to give him, the youngest I'm going to give him is 38. The youngest. And that's pushing it, because I want to say he's 40. 32.
I believe.
What the hell? The point is, Herbert, like, this woman is in her 40s. Why? Like, no, nobody is trying to be engaged for 3 years. Like, nobody's trying to do that. Nobody, or trying to wait until they get engaged for 3 years. Like, what is your idea? And my thing is for you to not make your intentions clear in this type of situation is a red flag. That is a red flag. First of all, it's not attractive in real life. Like, I don't want to even talk to a man and his intentions are not made clear. Like, I need to understand where your head is at, how you kind of envision things in the next year alone. Like, what do you want? And he's not doing that. And every date that he went on, he was given the opportunity to explain and, where he is at and what his intentions are. And he kept fumbling the ball. So it was really unfortunate. Janelle's homegirl was like, it's going to be a no for Herbert. Because it's just, at this point, it's just lip service. And with Q, he just seems more serious about what he wants and more serious about Janelle.
And Q was younger than Herbert.
Right. Now, Q is like 32.
No, he's 33.
Okay, close. I was close. Oh, y'all the same age. So Herbert went on another date to meet another friend, and that is the friends of Sierra. Sierra had a guy and a girlfriend show up, and she had them meet Morier and Herbert. Once again, fumbling the ball. I mean, you're gonna fumble the ball when it comes to like vocalizing your feelings and like being like very articulate. You're gonna fumble the ball next to Morier. Morier is just very good with words, and it's that's clear, and just expressing himself. But it wouldn't be that bad if this wasn't his third strike.
It was just another scene of Herbert being a man of no words.
Right.
Of course, friends being friends, they're asking questions.
Right.
And Morier is elaborating. He's being very transparent. He's speaking his truth about how he feels. Herbert's still just cruising.
Right.
Just pretty basic. Letting everybody know about how slow he is as a tortoise when it comes to his plans. He's just cruising. He's just chilling.
Yeah.
And it's like, Herbert, you have the same answers for every date you go on.
Right. And it's no answer.
It's nothing.
It don't tell me nothing.
It's nothing.
It don't tell me nothing. And it was funny because when Herbert showed up, when he was leaving, Sierra and him, they hugged, and it's clear that they have like a sexual energy between them. And Sierra said that, like, she's feeling the physical energy from him, but that's even more of a red flag. Like, is it just physical? Are you a player?
Right.
Like, are you wasting my time? And her friends were able to see that, and they were like, he's kind of a red flag. Like, Morier is more husband material. And
yeah,
Herbert, like, what was going on? We're not going in order. We just gonna get it out the way. Herbert leaves.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't shocking, really, seeing the last 2 episodes. We weren't shocked with him leaving because everybody was just, they were concerned. And again, he had so many connections.
There was a consensus that Herbert started to have some shit with him.
Right.
Things were unclear about him, how he felt, his timeline of stuff, and how serious he was taking the process and serious how he was taking the women.
Right.
Because he already had a knock on him about his communication.
Yeah, it wasn't consistent.
So you already have inconsistent communication. Mm-hmm. You have no answers for questions, which means you don't have an answer for the future. So it was bound to happen.
Right. So bye, Herbert. Sorry for you. So now we have Aries and her friend. Or friends. She had a guy and a girl too, right?
I believe so.
She had a guy and a girl. She has her friends meet Phil and Chris, right? So Phil also, like we said earlier, Phil met Kat's friends too. And Kat's friend really liked Phil and felt like he was the one for her. But Kat was like, she feels like it's very stagnant. Well, I believe that is stagnant because he feels like his strongest connection is with Aries.
Yep.
And so I think that that's what's happening. And I think he's making his decision. He seems a little bit more intentional with Aries. Yep. But this is the gotcha. With Aries' friends, I think the guy asked, like, well, how does it feel to be with an ambition, a woman that has ambition and, plans for things? And Phil mentions kind of his up and downs with his career and just like starting over and starting a business and then going back to a 9-to-5 and then going back to a business. It just seemed like, okay, should we be concerned? Because it doesn't seem like you have, like things aren't stable.
Right.
And I think stability is the main thing. It's not about money. It's about stability. This is my perspective. And kind of his answer to the question kind of made me question that. Like, okay, stability is everything to me. And so it just, the back and forth and him just kind of like not being so sure about future plans was just a little bit alarming. And it alarmed her friends. They were also going up against Chris. This freaking, I do not trust Chris. Chris has to go. However, Aries' friends really liked Chris. They felt like that's a man with a plan. Like he has plans for the future and whatever. And he was answering the questions all great, but he keeps harping on, Aries is just so soft. Like, whatever. But the gag is I feel like Aries is feeling Phil more.
Yeah, I've always felt like she was.
So it's like you doing all of this because she saw.
Because they kissed too in the parking lot.
They sure did.
Yeah.
What episode was that?
I forgot. I think did he come over to her spot or where they go? Did they go somewhere neutral?
They were like at a restaurant and they were leaving. He
and
walked her to the car.
And like I said, I haven't seen nobody kiss Chris yet.
Right? I don't think that physical chemistry is there. I don't. But because I don't understand why Aries is not seeing that this is a red flag that he wants a freaking servant.
I mean, because I think for her, like she has two people, but she may be blind to the fact because Phil's starting to captivate her more. So it's just like she may see this and that, but she's more leaning towards Phil.
Whatever. So speaking of Chris also meets Jessica's friends. So she also had a guy and a girlfriend come. And she has Morier join them as well. Now, Morier comes in with a gift to apologize for X week with the whole religion thing. Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that he said, I'm not apologizing for what I believe in and how I practice, but I am apologizing for not making you aware. And I really respect that because that was the only issue that I had with what happened during X week.
Because as much as y'all taught, you never brought it up.
Right.
And like I said, that's one of those things where you should know about somebody, their religion.
Right.
As well as how they practice.
Right.
And so, I think it was very sincere.
Yeah. He comes off like a sincere person. Again, I really hope he doesn't prove me wrong. But I will say, it's going to be on record. It's on tape now. I do like Morier. He is the only person on the show that I'm going to say that I do like.
Notorious.
So, unfortunately, Chris was there. Okay. So, Chris is there. Again, wrong road. The homeboy asked him, well, what wifely qualities does Jessica hold? Do you see in her? He does not answer the question. Instead, he says that she is physically attractive. He's physically attracted to her. But I always get on her about, just showing the more vulnerable and softer side. What the hell is wrong with this dude? What's wrong with him?
Well, I mean, in a nutshell, he's choosing the wrong words. He wants a more quiet woman. He doesn't want a woman to express her opinions.
To challenge him on anything.
He doesn't want that. He just wants you to follow without questioning his abilities.
Right.
And, that's, in a nutshell, that's what it is.
Right. Submissive.
Like
he don't want to use the word submissive because we all know that right now, that word is like, it's like a hot take. Like everybody's talking about it. Everybody talking about it on their podcast. Submissive. So he didn't want to use that word. So I agree with you. He's been covering it up with soft. We know what that means. It's all smoke and mirrors. You are absolutely right. He doesn't want somebody to challenge him. And it's not going to work for me. And it's damn sure not going to work for Jessica either. Because she saw it and she's like, we just going to end it here. Like, it's over. The fact that you couldn't even answer the question about her good qualities, because that was the question.
He couldn't answer because he was too stuck on what he wanted her to change.
Right.
He needed to see differently.
Right.
So he was,
and that's a red flag.
He couldn't even, he couldn't look at the positives.
Right.
Because he was so stuck on that.
Right.
And, that wasn't going to work for Jessica. My thing is you're trying to ask her to change her personality and change who she is.
To accommodate you, and we're not even in a relationship.
Right.
It's fascinating. Fascinating how they do that. Fascinating. So the only other date that we're not even going to go through was Lee and her friend Muffin. She has her friend meet Q because, again, this seems to be her only real connection. Mm-hmm. But the friend asked no questions because the friend was too into how Q looked. And that was so unfortunate. And a red flag for the friend. Like, why are you so, like, what is wrong with you? She was acting real thirsty. So she asked this man no questions. The whole scene was pointless. And Lee felt like it was a waste because she said, I really needed her to ask questions because she needed answers from Q. But then I'm like, well, girl, why don't you ask him the questions? Like, why did you leave it all up to your friend to ask questions that you clearly want answers to? Why are you not asking?
Right.
That doesn't make any sense. What is wrong with people? That annoyed me.
I don't know, y'all, but, not meaning to, because it was a guy elimination. Next week is women.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet y'all it's a battle between Lee and Kat who going home.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. At first, I thought it was Sierra, but I think Moria is still going to try to keep her around. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Lee and Kat.
Because I think Q has chose.
Janelle.
I think it's pretty much over. Well, whatever. I mean, I guess.
So at the girls' lounge, after conversing, it came down to two guys, Chris and Herbert. And as y'all know, obviously Herbert and his player ways went home. So he can go, take his time at home and do what he want to do in his slow ass pace. Hopefully this gave Chris a wake up call to do some self reflection.
He's not.
He's not. But the preview we got from next week is they seem like they go on their trip, their getaway.
Finally, I always like this one because you really connections. These are where lines are drawn. Connections are very clear. We pick our people. I like when they do the trip.
So I'm ready to see this episode. Like I said, we're definitely gonna get more clarity when people stand.
Right.
But yeah, overall, this episode it showed people's true colors, as we've seen who went home.
You want to match people? Let's match people. We haven't done our check-in with who we like in this whole list thing. So I'm gonna say this: Moria and Jessica definitely, right? I think Janelle and Q are going to be choose each other or whatever. And I think that Aries is going to choose Phil.
Yep.
Anybody else off? that's kind of where I'm at with everybody else.
I agree with that.
Yeah. That's kind of how I feel. And like I said, the only person that I actually do like is Moria. And that's out of guys and girls. He's the only one that I actually like.
So it's interesting. We're coming down to the wire. I think after this getaway, there's probably about maybe 2 more episodes left.
Maybe after this one.
With the 3 people that we feel are great for each other, I'm ready to see the Stranglers, the Straddlers, to try to see what they do. Like Chris, he was one of the golden boys in the beginning. He fell very far. I wonder if he senses that the Jessica thing is over.
He wants it to be over. Is that not clear? Because if he doesn't want it to be over, then he's doing a horrible job at courting this woman.
Because, I want to know if he thinks that's over. Kat, you don't have nobody. You might as well just save yourself some time and bow out. Just to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't.
And like I said, Sierra's just the comedian there. Like, she's just chilling. She's kicking it.
Right.
Let's see how they bounce. Let's see. I want to see them 3 at this cabin getaway. Because I said, they don't really have nobody anymore.
Right.
I want to see how they interact. But we hope that you enjoyed this episode with us. Do not forget to like and subscribe. Like I said, we got a lot ready for y'all. And once again, I will announce Huntsville is coming back. It comes back. What part of September does it come back, by the way?
I think it's September 16th. Did y'all see the trailer? It was so ghetto. Oh my God. It's so ghetto, y'all. Oh my God. Why do we watch that show?
The kids. It's about the kids.
I
felt like I haven't heard that in a while. The kids. It's like the whole Holt family says the kids.
I do not. I cannot. Oh, another thing, y'all. We didn't review it, but we was peeking in and out with the Detroit stuff. That show was horrible. Did y'all watch that? That show was horrible, y'all. It was so boring and lackluster and just, it was not given. Nobody's likable. These people really aren't doing anything. It was weird. I didn't like it. It was just like this fake.
It seemed like a show that's thrown together because of a writer's strike.
Maybe, but it just looked like a low budget version of Huntsville, which is crazy because that's Alabama.
Yeah,
but
they showed out more than Detroit.
Oh my God, Detroit was really bad. Detroit to me was worse than DC, and I don't think DC is good, but Detroit was worse than DC to me. Didn't like it, and they have the nerve to have a reunion for what? What are we gonna talk about?
And Brandon was so lame.
What are we gonna talk about?
Everybody was lame.
I can't.
Oh my gosh, I'm an influencer. Oh my gosh, all of them are so lame. But we appreciate y'all for joining us on this episode. Y'all don't forget to watch Ready to Love Tomorrow.
Yes.
Like I said, I feel it's going to be a good episode. We're really going to get more clarity on everything. Like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe. Spread the word about our channel. We got a lot in store for y'all. Yeah. You have any parting words for our guests?
Y'all just please have a safe and fun, but definitely safe holiday weekend. The world is crazy, so we just need a little bit more love out there. So we hope that we bring some positivity, and we promise we're going to get more consistent. But I always say life be lifing. But again, just stay safe and enjoy your long weekend.
We want y'all to have a great weekend. It's going to be hot. Drink y'all water and stay on the sidewalk.
Bye.